let's talk Apostrophe.
Please. One of the all-time greatest records, in my humble opinion. You can pick a bunch of stuff made in the 70s that will rock you hard, but I think Apostrophe might be at the tippity top of rockage.
I agree. When you look at that cover,
Dad.
I was going to say, what's the first thing that comes to your mind, honestly?
Well, I think other people might have a different relationship to the cover. You know, I think we've always thought of it as an iconic cover. But that's the face that stared at me as a kid. So I don't know what that, that's really what I see in my mind's eye when I just think about Frank as a father figure. That's the guy that I see. And you know, I was born in 74, so it's a big celebration for this record now. And I mean, it's just been with me literally my entire life.
Mm-hmm. That album gets created in January.
Yeah.
It gets handed in February.
Yep.
Frank goes on the road, comes back in March, goes back out on the road in April.
Mm-hmm.
You're born in May.
That's right.
Frank goes back out on the road.
Mm-hmm.
He's in Europe in September, finds out that Don't Eat the Yellow Snow is actually happening because some DJ in Pittsburgh cuts it down, right?
Yeah.
He comes back off the road, instantly makes his single edit, submits it to Warner's. He has his first hit, okay? That's an incredible year.
Are you saying I've always been Frank's good luck charm? I don't know. But if it's his first hit and then I come along, I mean, you do the math.
Exactly. You have to agree that that's a pretty insane year for Frank.
Yeah.
When you look back on all those things happening at once.
Well, first of all, he's having tremendous success and, you know, he saves my life too. So I'm born very premature.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're like, here's your child. And of course he decides to give me a, you know, great Christian name, Ahmet Imuka Rodan Zappa.
Dig it. So that's a Godzilla reference.
Yeah, it sure is.
And a record executive reference.
Yep.
Nuts.
Well, Ahmet, as the legend goes, Ahmet was an imaginary genie.
Okay.
That this is what was told to me, and may or may not have been also influenced by the great
Ahmet Ertegun.
Ahmet Ertegun, who Frank had a lot of respect for.
Yes.
But when Frank and Gail could only afford peanut butter, they would say, Ahmet, bring us the peanut butter. So I think they had their beautiful children, right? Have you seen my brother and his unibrow and his golden locks? You know, it's a beautiful man. Even though he doesn't have golden locks. And then Moon, of course, incredible. Then I come along with, you know, this is happening, right? Like, how does my brother still have a full head of hair in this? Like, what happened? You know, thanks. Anywho, so yeah, you know, they had this imaginary genie. They can only afford peanut butter. So I like hearing that story, or when Gail would talk about it, because you know, they struggled for so long, and then this record comes out, and it really is a transformative time financially for the whole business operation and for the family.
Yeah, absolutely. First time too.
Yeah.
What do you think it is about this album that separates it from the rest of the catalog in the fact that it was such a successful record, and number two, it always seems to be, and I can tell you my personal story, but it always seems to be like the one that people go to first. Like it just seems to be that introductory world.
I'd recommend it too. I think when people, because the catalog is so vast and dense, and there's so much different kind of music that you can enjoy, but you know, I always recommend Apostrophe as a starting point. The storytelling, the comedy, the groove of all the way the record sounds, especially this edition, sounds incredible, and all the other little elements that have been sourced for your listening pleasure. It's a tremendous moment in time. I think is also very innovative. You know, if you look back at how people were recording records back then too. This is, you know, a pioneering record in terms of sound and production, and so I don't know. It's just a magical moment.
Yeah, it talks to people.
Yeah,
It's really accessible, considering if you compare it to the stuff that he did in the 60s.
yeah. Which, you know, I'm a fan of all of my dad's music. You are probably a bigger fan,
No,
but some
no,
of
that's
it,
not true.
some of it is so challenging to listen to for me, and I say that with total respect for his musical prowess, genius. You know, I always say that Frank is the Nostradamus of rock because, you know, aside from his compositions, his subject matter, and certainly the things he would say publicly, he's just a really smart guy. And this is an example. This record is a really interesting example of what he's talking about socially with a sense of humor. You know, there's a lot to love on this record. It's so good.
So true. When I was 12, I went to my local record store in my mall, local mall in Erie, Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
with my saved up money.
Did you have like Aquanet bangs, blue eyeshadow?
Not yet.
Not
yet. Not at 12. So I go to my local record store
Yeah.
with the intention of bringing home my first Frank Zappa record.
Yeah.
I went in and there was a selection and I was thumbing through, and the moment that I saw that album cover,
Yeah.
I had to pull it out,
Yeah.
read the back, and I brought it home. And I don't think I'm alone. I think a lot of people did that same thing. What is it about that damn cover that, like, it's got the magic, it's got the mojo?
It does. I think there's something in his eyes. There's something, you know, there's a whole world to be discovered in his mustache. If you really zoom in, I mean,
Past
we're
the
talking
peanut butter?
Yeah, we're talking extra galaxies in there.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of wisdom in that stash, and then certainly if you can go down past the lips and get into the Imperium, then first of all, what a great place. If you could microtize yourself and crawl through the jungle of the Imperium and then listen to this record, for those of you who have that technological ability, it's the best way to hear the record.
Not even gray yet.
Not even gray yet, right? Craziest day of my life is the day Frank decided to shave his mustache and his Imperium off. It was a horror movie. It was, all of us in the house were like, wait, what? No.
That was the worst idea ever.
Yeah, it was Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Like, who? Like, that's not my dad. It was not great. You know, that's why this is the seminal. You know, like, honestly, I think when you go back and you see some of the rocking guitar solos that people often talk about, he does have the long hair and have the mustache, like him on the Mike Douglas show. You know, he just plugs it into the pig nose amp and just, crushes it. Crush. It's like he was born in Crussia because he's crushing it
Yeah.
so hard.
Yes.